next to God, tonight we are going to discuss the woman. A very fortunate and unfortunate subject, which is the core of any unfortunate experience a man can ever have, and which is a source of bliss that man can enjoy. I will try to relate to the basic scriptures and shall explain to you how it works in your life. And if you have decency to understand it and its basic needs, which may demand a change in your life, then perhaps it can help you. Can you put the volume a little higher? They're already talking a little low. Is that all right? No.
Second knob over has to be on 0, John.
Second knob.
I think it is a normal procedure that it should be tested before you can do these insecure tantrums. One little machine cannot be handled. How can the machine of the whole life can be handled by you?
Which mic is it?
Number 2.
That should be in the city that
Okay, that's all right. Now if you want to really know the depth of this word woman, it is actually a woman. Every man enjoys his ecstasy into his opposite polarity, and therefore woman is the opposite polarity of the man, and in the state of ecstasy he addresses her as woman. When I'm going to talk to you, you might have some misunderstanding. I know the woman has been exploited, she's a sex symbol, she's just a mother to nurse children, and she is divorced, and she is this and she is that. I'm not trying to relate to the side of the exploitation and negation through which a woman has gone, and I'm also not siding with the woman in the sense that she divorces the man for the sake of money, she sells her body for the sake of money, she does not have any morality, ethics, and she does not know that she, being a mother, can go up to the grave with the all misfortune which will cause through by anything commitment, and once she commit her body, that's the highest bid she can go through, and she cannot stop herself. So neither I am favoring the man tonight nor the woman, but I am going to go to the classic ideal woman, and I am explaining what a woman is in her all 4 dimensions and what she should be. So don't misunderstand in one thing. Just judge it by your own knowledge and your own meditation, how you feel about it. If you spell the word woman, you know, in the beginning there was a word was with God, word is God. You will write how? W-O man. So double you, O man, double of you is woman. So that's what it is. So the problem is, hardly there is yet any man who is not born out of woman. So we cannot relate to woman in any other form but something very near and dear to us. in a relationship as a mother, in a relationship as a wife, in a relationship as a partner, polarity, in every walk of life. If you sit down and analyze your life, without woman you do not exist. You cannot exist. I want to cover this subject, those celibates who talked against women and they thought woman is no good, woman is this. That crazy period came in spiritual life of those spiritual cowards who couldn't handle women. So they laid down as a rule, they ran away. They said it is easy to handle God than to handle a woman. So I think you will not give very much importance to that stuff. In history of Guru Nanak, Mashtinder Nath talked to him that you have such a powerful spirit and light around you, but you are married. How can that be? So Guru Nanak asked him, first time he used a hard word, Audu, a man with a donkey consciousness. Such a great Guru. Mashtinder Nath was known as the highest yogi who could visualize God and all that. And then Guru Nanak called him Audu. He said, Audu, O donkey conscious man, you are slandering your mother, which is a woman. You are born out of woman and you are talking against woman. What has gone wrong with your union with God? What has gone wrong with you? So that was a very typical time when this messenger of God took a very extreme positive step to make realize the man how important in one's life a woman is. And it is very important. There's no fulfillment without it. And a woman in your home can suck you out in 3 minutes and she can inspire you to be divine in 2 minutes. So what kind of woman we are seeking? Who should look beautiful, her face should be beautiful, she have more inheritance money, or she is educated, she can support herself, or she is dumb and very slave type and all that stuff. Everybody has different ideas. In scriptures, woman has been divided into 4 dimensions, 4 sections. First is Hansini, or swan is the symbol. Second is the Mirgani, the deer is the symbol. Third is the Shutarni, horse is the symbol. Fourth is the Hathni, elephant is the symbol. They have divided very minutely after a huge study of civilization, woman civilization into 4 parts. Know about this swan as a woman. She is clean, clear, beautiful, knows what is right and wrong, unpolluted, white. Swans are white. And she swims in the ocean of life without wetting her feathers. Most beautiful person. The very glance of her adds inspiration, very sincere, perfect, in every way known and unknown to the man. So much so scripture says, what to talk of marrying her, if a man only passes in her company for a few minutes, his total consciousness changes. That much is the effect of this woman. She is positive, and in her company, doesn't matter what relationship you have towards her, in her company, the man should immediately become positive. Scriptures go to the extent that if a man is totally miserably negative, the word is very miserably, hopelessly negative, and if he happens to fall in the company of a woman who is of this category, with few words and conversation, he will feel back his manhood and his personality. She is so inspiring and so delightful. So now you will be asking me where that woman is. Well, that woman is here still. Woman is a woman always. Sometimes we do not look to her because our eyes are blind because of certain lustful, sensational, exploitatorily reasons. We do not look in women. I have found very few men in my study who look at a woman as an object of grace, symbolically. When we look at a woman, we look how we can grab her, how we can possess her, how we can eat her away, and how we can exploit her and blah, blah, blah. It is such a terrible thing in our consciousness as men, you can't believe me. But when you go and sit back in your living room and you're going to sleep tonight in the bedroom, my words will hit you back. That's what you all do. I am a man myself. Don't think I am too pro-woman, but I'm telling you, that's what we think. Moment you see a beautiful man, that should immediately make you appreciate God. Oh God, Lord, what a beauty you have created on this earth. No, that's not the attitude. You immediately want to, hey, she becomes my friend, God, that's best. All that stuff. It is the same tendency of that child who sees a beautiful rose plant and then he sees a beautiful rose, all he wants to do is pluck it. He doesn't want to appreciate it. Pluck it, smell it, and then rub it, spoil it, and throw it on the ground. That tendency of that child and that of a man who sees the beauty in the woman, Scripture says, if one wants to see the total creativity of the universe in beauty, he can see in the face of a Hansini. This category of woman is so representative of God of beauty that in her face, in the glow of her face, the whole genius of God creativity can be felt or realized. Well, the second comes Mirgni. The symbol is deer. You know these little deers in the nature, they run around and they add beauty to it. They are vegetarian, they do not bother anybody. They jump around full of energy, full of nature. They make you feel something light and higher. That is a very creative symbol. If you can relate to in wilderness, when you find a deer running around, you find a very soothingness, very natural effect towards the creative energy of the divine and God. Such women, Scripture says, are helpful, inspiring, energetic, and highly innocent. They are very innocent. Very innocent. And you know the total divinity is the sum up of total divinity is the innocence of the man. So they are very innocent people, very inspiring, very beautiful, almost far out. Then you go further in this category to the third category of the woman, Shutarni. The symbol is horse. When they are wild, they are very, very wild. But when they are tamed, they are best friends. They take away all your load, make you feel light, makes your journey very light, very safe. They really work for you. You end up getting credit, they end up getting work for you. But when they're wild, they are very wild, and you have to little hassle and sweat to get to them. And they do not trust you in the beginning. Once they become your pets, then you go on loading anything, they don't care, they feel this is their fulfillment. Last comes the woman, the Hathini, elephant, the wisest animal among the animal kingdom is elephant. Elephant goes by his own trails, does not adapt any normal path, eats all the time, does his own thing. Only wants the mate when she wants to mate, have the baby, then totally divert her attention into the baby and throw away all the males out of the herd. You know, elephants, they don't like the males in the herd when they are not on the mating season at all. The male has to run around separately. So such women are, first of all, they have all the attention just to get out of the man. The sperm, the moment the child is born, they put all attention in the child. Male may go anywhere, they don't care. That is the basic attitude in which she goes. And in this situation, the man deals and wields his life. Hathini is a woman who is very self-centered, almost neurotic to her own needs. What she wants right now, and wants all the attention to be focused at her, because she is not that beautiful like first three categories, who by nature and grace are beautiful. Therefore she is aware of that weakness and she will try to draw all attentions. So these are the four categories available in the scriptures which men through all from the cave age up to this time have found out. Now question is, what is our modern woman? That's the most important. Our more modern woman is a woman who wants to be a man, totally insecure and totally afraid to be exploited at every moment. That is our modern woman. And what is our modern man? He looks at a woman as an equal physical partner and deals with her just as a business deal. Honey, I kiss you, therefore you should kiss me. I gave you $10, then should you cook my food, blah, blah, blah. He does not know that she is the polarity in which he can find satisfaction. And woman in her own mood, unfortunate it is that she, through any surgical operation, very hard for every woman to become a male, almost is impossible. But in her wish she is trying her level best to be as ugly as man is. She does not know that every man has to shave in the morning to keep his cheeks a little soft and look like her, where she is naturally granted this perfect beauty, and she can create another man in union with the man, whereas man has no capacity by himself. And looking at the relationship of male and female, you have very deeply to understand. Your whole life, in spite of the marriage and divorce, in spite of the fact of like and dislike, in spite of the fact you are positively and negatively, somehow every life of the male will end up in a woman, and every life of a woman will end up in a man. Because this is how it works. Opposite polarities must find a neutral. So every woman must find a male, and every male must find a female in polarity. Now question is, if that is a must and we have to find that, why there is a divorce? Divorce happens in two cases. Where man is immature and he is like a baby, he is afraid to take the responsibility of the partnership, that's one. And second is, when a woman duly married to a man wants to be a mother control. These are the two basic structural things in the human behavior which brings a divorce. Insecurity on the part of any partner towards the relationship, and second, the pattern of the mother instinct in the man, in the woman. Woman has a most powerful instinct in her, that's the motherhood. And sometimes she gets so much crazy that she forgets the guy she's dealing with is a man she's married to, and he's not a baby. So she starts babying him, and that messes up the whole thing. Lastly, there is another problem, and that is the inborns. Sometimes the couple lays the total security of their total existence, which should be total understanding between the two, and use these poor newborns as the ground of security, which is a human tragedy. Now, question is, male and female relation is a necessity for any expansion of the man. But misfortune part of it, if the behavior is not totally understood and totally recognized, and the foundation work is not done properly, anything else in human life is just useless game. It is so important. What is a yoga? When the finite polarity finds the merger with the infinity in polarity, the neutral stage of bliss or anand is yoga. And what is bhog? When an individual polarity finds a neutrality in opposite polarity of the male, and a stage of neutrality is reached, which is a state of bliss, they call it also bhog, and there also divinity or the supreme consciousness is achieved. So it is not, I believe sincerely, you may not agree with me, and I'm not telling you to agree with me at all, I believe a good God-conscious woman can turn a great evil person to be divine. I definitely believe it, and I know it as a miracle. But I also believe an insecure, nagging wife can make a great saintly man to look like an idiot. I also believe in that. So God save the king, king is dead. God save the woman, woman is divine. And if she is not, then better forget about it. There's hardly any chance. So I have explained to you the four forms of the woman, her nature, her faculties, her polarities, the relationship which we go through, as well as the inborn and how we deal with it. Now question arises, how can we find a solution in our life where we can find happiness in our relationship with the male and female? That is what my subject is tonight, and I'm going to work on that. I do not care how far we can achieve it, but I know we all can achieve it. Therefore, I will give you about 5-6 minutes or 10 minutes of rest if you want, 15 minutes up to 9 o'clock. You can talk about it and chew about it. Don't gallop at what I have said. I have said very heavy things. I mean, you may not even relate to what I'm talking about. What woman has a relationship with elephant, why. These are symbols, as in zodiac sign we have certain symbols to relate to certain characteristics. That is what the ancient in their wisdom has done to us. They are very useful things. And when you are a psychologist or a sociologist and you want to live in this society and know the patterns of the individual towards the society and society's effects on the individual, you got to know these fundamental ancient thoughts. And you can reject them and accept them at your own convenience of accepting and rejecting. Then after 15 minutes, I like to do a meditation today with you, which is a part of the White Tantric Yoga, but I'll not do it as a class of the Tantric, I'll do it just as a Kriya. Because you will sit with that in closed eyes, though I am present, but I'll not like sometime out of your madness, you may start sitting with any partner, put eyes into eyes, and have a weird experience sometime. You must understand, sometimes you have misunderstanding that Tantric Yoga is a science of sex. That's not true. Unfortunately, Tantric Yoga is a science of total divine and self when it is a white Tantric. When you want to just accelerate yourself into energy, then it's a red Tantric where the rituals like blood and all that is used, which we do not use at all, and neither we know and nor we care to know about that. That's the red Tantric. And the black Tantric, which is one of the most weird thing ever the demon man is known, and they found it out, is to cast spell for personal exploitation and hypnotism. That is black Tantric. Unfortunately, it is the power of the white Tantric to cut off all the spells. They don't work. Any person ever in life, if he has done any kriya of a white Tantric Yoga, red Tantric spells and black Tantric Yoga spell cannot work on that man. This is one fundamental guarantee. That is why when I found the men are very happy and women are sometimes very, very insecure, and the understanding is very remote among the people, but people are very sincere in this country. That is the tragedy. They are seeking. They want happiness. They want to know the technical know. They want to be beautiful. But, there's a big but. But at their terms. So that is a kind of a thing which we thought is not workable. We started giving these Tantric Yoga courses, and we have found tremendous success. Tremendous success. Patterns of life changed, understood. They understood the very basic of male and female relationship. And we have so many beautiful things to remember. So much so, if you take the issue of the bead's tooth on this summer solstice and you read those hundreds of positive moments which people have said while doing that Tantric course, they are eye-openers. They are eye-openers, and they are, I think, the best document which on such a study can ever be produced. So don't misunderstand, man does need technical know-how to inspire himself to the total understanding of a stage of neutral bliss, where man can thoroughly understand the woman, and woman can understand the man. By living a life of insecurity, by living a life of greed and grab, no woman can reach to a man. And by living a life of exploitation and selfishness, no man can ever enjoy the bliss in a woman. It is very essential for us to start living clean and clear, so that on this earth we can experience heavens, and we not have to die and go to heaven to see the ice cold rishis sitting with lion cloth and churning their beads. That's a far out imagination. When you go in heaven, you will be just sitting on your own refrigerator. You will not like it. And neither you learn to sit and meditate on your stove. That is the hell. So my dear, tonight I would like you to understand one thing. Let us not go to hell and heaven. Let us create the very beauty and heaven here through our own experience of contentment, joy, and happiness. In my life, you have the right to ask me a personal experience. That is how it works. I have never slaved myself to any situation, but I have been a disrespectful man to any woman. And I think if you all can ever find such a state of consciousness, you all will be very happy. I want to make a commentary on that. Don't misunderstand. The women have not made me miserable. They have tried their best. And also don't misunderstand me that women have not helped me. I have lived in a state of situations where many times my life is dedicated to those great women who really sacrificed and suffered to see that I am protected and I am alive. And also, my life and this education and my neutralism is dedicated to those women who did every demon act to see that I do not exist in physical. So I had quite a pretty experience about it. And especially when I came to Canada in Toronto, and I came in the early years in the United States of America, I had a very rough experience and very hard time. It is greatness of those yogi hunting women who wanted to lay numbers on all the yogis, and they had a long list. They wanted to include me also in that I end up in my consciousness to build a huge, powerful power today. We call it Grace of God Movement of Women of America. We have decided to give back the woman her grace, and it is first time in the history of United States of America that woman organized herself in pure white, went to the White House to give a memorandum that woman should be returned her grace of God which she deserved, and her acts as a mother, as a woman, as a polarity to the male, and a grace out whom always a nation is born may be recognized. We have done a tragedy. We think raising a child is absolutely no work, it's just nothing. And wearing a hot iron hat and working on a road by a woman like a coolie and earning $4 an hour is a great job. What use will be your roads if your woman folks will become stone-hearted by those acts and will lose that tenderness which they have? What shall be the generation tomorrow? I know some people have argued with me already, we will have test tube babies. And I always tell them, go and see that science fiction, The Conqueror of the Apes. Those test tube babies will be just like those apes you produce in that fiction, and what they did to you, that will be the end of the man in the hands of those test tube babies. So people have got very weird thoughts. It is no use discussing them now, but I tell you, heaven is that home where there is a divine, inspiring woman, sits in her grace and beauty to give a coziness to the man. An angel is that man who works hard and sweats and come back with full of feelings, and in that blessed ecstasy he prays the Lord to give him a little land on this earth to enjoy the bliss of life. I'm not a great poet, but I have drawn before you a picture of an ideal home and of an ideal couple. And this picture haunts me, guides me, inspires me, and is in me and my total activity is based on this picture. And I sincerely feel every man can accomplish this dream. You must remember, 3 years ago, I came as an individual in this country. Today I have got the strongest family, known, recognized, and praised. We are 158,000 people, threaded in a one thread of love, and we are family. We stand for each other, we love each other, we care for each other, and to the extent we sacrifice and go through pain for each other. So much so, we have provided such a strong security that on one call, we all start functional, and one individual finds himself totally with all that energy which no money and dollar can buy in the United States of America. I give you one example. One of our family members was driving between Denver and Santa Fe. On the way somewhere on the road, his car couldn't function. Car was very costly, he couldn't leave it. He was alone, he never knew what to do. He stopped a passing by car, gave the number of Los Angeles, said, call this number, collect, and tell them about me, this is my difficulty. And gave him the address at what mile he is, and after that he locked his car inside and sat inside himself because there was no other way, waiting perhaps some highway patrol man comes by and he can seek the help or something. But that car was first available, he sent the message. It was 1:30 Los Angeles time when I got the telephone call, and that man called collect. He said, this is the situation. If they want to accept it, I said, I accept the charges. He told me the whole story, name and the place. I said, thank you very much, God bless you. You give me your address, we'll write a letter of thanks to you, we'll take care of him. After that, I sat down on the telephone, called Santa Fe Ashram, and also called other 3 ashrams adjoining that area, and told them the situation, asked them to go. Within 1 hour, there were 6 people with cars around him. Within 1 hour, there were 6 people with car with him. They had their own tow truck. They had a big jeep to do things. They took him the hot yogi tea and a good food. They gave him a comfort. They drove him to Santa Fe. They nursed him for a day, and they got the car done perfect. And next day he was driving to Los Angeles. In his own words, he said, I am proud, I am happy, I am divine, I have sought, I have known the unknown. There are people with great experiences, and that is why when we combine in ourselves in group consciousness and bring a neutral polarity to the psyche of the group consciousness, the universal consciousness of divinity comes out of us like anything. But don't forget, the basic unit of the whole structure of this society is home, and in home there are 2, electron and proton, and that is male and female. And their understanding and their harmony will create a positive existence through the power of their neutron existence, and thus we will have an adjective called molecule. So we are all playing the game of an atom in our life, and we are all very much together. Sometimes we have something known as frustration. I like to explain to you what is frustration and hatred. You must understand basically what it is. Frustration is when you have the energy and you do not know where to give it an outlet. Energy is there, outlet is not there, it is a frustration. And second frustration is when you do not have the energy and you have a huge outlet, you do not know from where to get the energy. Frustration is that way. Hatred is nothing but love in misunderstanding. Love is a communion between the two individuals with the understanding and tolerance. Minus understanding and tolerance, the same thing is nothing but hatred. That's all. So I will advise you, when somebody hates you, don't hate him back, because you are doing the same thing what the other guy is doing, and there's no end to it. Actually, there is no such thing, hatred. And hatred comes out of misunderstanding when one becomes very egocentric and selfish. If you think the situation selflessly and beyond ego, you will understand there may be some background, some defects. If your car is running on the freeway, start giving a nice, what do you do? Will you stop it, take it to examination and try to repair it? Same way in your relationship, there's sometimes unusual nice, but you don't like it. And you never have tried to investigate, the man was loving me yesterday, why he is hating me today? Quite possible. He may be frustrated somewhere else and may, at least my experience is like this. I have seen when any person gets frustrated with anybody else, I am the easiest target of the hatred and slander. And I love it. Because you cannot match in insanity with anybody. Your wisdom is at stake. So I take the shelter, a blanket of wisdom over me, and calm myself. Wait up to the time the clouds go away, and then I come out and say, hi, how are you? Fine, good luck. Keep up. So exactly with that compassion you have to live in this society, otherwise you lose your own energy and you make yourself miserable, because you are the one, and there are millions of hooks which people will provide to vibrate, because every individual vibrates in relationship with other individual. Only those individuals you will find will be beautiful and neutral, who too have already set their magnetic field. So that couple, male and female, who have a set harmony in their own magnetic field, will or can give satisfaction, happiness. Happiness is not how many pieces of furniture you have in your house, how many houses you own, how much interest you pay every year, how much tax you pay, how many clothes in the wardrobe you have. That is not the source of happiness, that is required. If you have rich, you have more clothes, you can wear better, you look beautiful, you look clean, it's beautiful. So now, I think you should just relax for a while and also set up yourself, and you must choose your male and female partner without obligation. Obligation is don't look around who's the beautiful girl, I should have her or not. Everybody is alright, and so long you can have a good person to experience this which I want to give you tonight, for which I have flown all the way from San Jose, and I have to fly back. Because I promised with you, I'll complete this course. So I have kept my word, you keep yours. So have few minutes of rest, because I have to go back again. There are some people sitting there, I'm teaching them a special course. I'll be again for the next class with you. So, you know from where I draw this inspiration? I saw a political man who's a member of the house. He goes to Sacramento every day by aircraft. So why not? If he can do that, why not I can come back? So Now you can relax, and meanwhile you can talk around about this and find a partner, and then you will all sit together. This we are going to experiment something on this trust alone, and sometimes we go crazy. Oh, well, it doesn't matter, he told me not to open eyes, let me see it, what can happen. Well, you can do that foolishness, I should say, but that can sometimes affect you very adversely. That's why I am warning you in a very clear consciousness that once you sit opposite to your partner, set yourself perfectly, and then please do not open your eyes, and then sit in a most relaxed posture in which you are very comfortable but very much tuned in. Yes, you have to be in some line because the flow of energy will just then blow you up.
There's room up here.
Come on here, why not? Bring her along. Yeah, but we can't, everything cannot be provided. Come here, my love. Here, this one. Right near the altar. You want to have back with this? Oh, yeah, that is fine. Okay, now please open your eyes and look at your partner. Just you want to know what his face looks like to you. Oh, those three people are surplus? I sympathize with you. You can watch what is going on. It's okay. Push. No, you can't move anything. No tape business. It's beyond taping and business-like thing. You're going to do something in which no ego is to involve. It is working, then keep it working. If it doesn't work, this is your problem. But don't put your hand left and right. Concentrate what you're going to do. All set? Smile at each other and wish each other well. Now basically close your eyes very firmly and get into a very graceful posture. Now you have to do one thing in this whole vibration of the voice. You will tune on your lady's voice. So ladies first chant 3 times, men shall have to tune on that as to build a polarity. Sa ta na ma sa ta na ma sa ta na ma sa ta na ma. Inhale. Exhale. Now each individual, start from here, you chant the mantra, then the next lady will chant next, then individual to individual you will concentrate. Come on. Sa ta na ma sa ta na ma sa ta na ma sa ta na ma. Now that there are 2 men. You start here. Sa Now, all the ladies will chant one way and the men will respond, tuning in that group consciousness on that voice which you have heard individually. Simple practice. And any perfection of this can build in you the unknown powers which man has the right to know it potentially. It can bring you the opening of the lotus of the heart and happiness and joy to the tune of the bliss and infinity. It is fortunate, but under normal circumstances you can do it with your life partner, provided you take a vow that for any circumstances and environments you will not change your position of the eyes. Once the eyes in this position gets into the eyes of the person, if the psyche, center psyche is not present, it can sometimes give bad results. Therefore it is essential for us to stand warned, not to take any risk, otherwise it is one of the finest exercises. Alright, we'll start now. Inhale deep. Ladies, you will say sa, the men will say ta, you will say na, they will say ma. Start.
Sa
And every physical feeling a man can go through. Remember, there's a feeling of youth. In old age it will be gone. There's a feeling of energy. In sickness that will be gone. There's a feeling of security, of maya. In poverty that will be gone. But the feeling of the bliss in the world is not gone, because it is in the beginning and it shall remain till the end. This science, this knowledge, this great mystery unfolded itself to the men of God. They shared with every man in brotherhood and in love, and through centuries it is known and unknown and again it is known, and again it is unknown. But however, practice of it can lead a man to the state of consciousness that he can realize the sound of infinity in his finite form, and his open self can experience the ecstasy of this nature, cosmos, in all dimensions. You might be thinking these days people talk about consciousness and dimensions. One dimension, second, third, fourth. Let us talk about all dimensions. Totality and plurality of the individual gives him a state of bliss. But the question is, as in this country, it is our deep nature is to experience it. And when we hear about it, listen about it, talk about it, but when we cannot experience about it, we get frustrated, and then that frustration comes out one way or the other. If Maya, the wealth, is a source of happiness, then all rich people should be happy, poor should be unhappy, but sometimes it's just the reverse. Its power and the beauty is happiness, and all beautiful people and people in power should be happy, but we find sometimes it is the reverse. So actually, it is that experience of contentment, that state of bliss, that fulfillment of the one in its opposite polarity is happiness. We have to find the opposite polarity. Without that, we'll run into cycles. Believe in birth or death or not, I don't care. I'm not leading that to you or laying on you, but you should. But that's what it is. That is a cycle. Seeking, seeking, seeking. Not seeking has to seek. One who has sought shall not seek. That's the cycle. So, what I want to ask you is, that is essential for a man to find his own grace, and it can be found out in the polarity of a graceful woman. So to live on life, we need two people, a graceful man and a graceful woman, a graceful male and a graceful female. And fortunately, when there will be two graceful people, they will also give birth to another grace, and thus the whole generation of humanity will become nothing but graceful. It is an effort which every man is entitled to do, every man is entitled to experience, and everybody should experience. It is not a faraway thing which we cannot know, which we cannot experience. Man is not made to live on this planet in a lonely way. Neither man is made in this earth to live in emotional tantrums. Man is made to live on this earth in his sophistication, in his delicacy of his higher consciousness. Therefore, please don't get sucked into temporary joys and hallucinations. Try to command your life, gear it in such a way that you may create an environment within yourself to relate to your own potential and infinity, so that you can find the blissful divinity and grace in your structural behavior in society. I basically understand, and you all will agree with me, we all are seeking that. There is a percentage, some have found it, some are trying to find it, some will find it, some 10%, 20%, 100%, goes on and on. But that is the end of the being, and that is the beginning of the being, and the only law which I apply to this is patience pays. If you are really, really patient, then whole divinity, whole divine will act for you and you will always end up in a very satisfactory manner. But when you are insecure and you are very emotional and you are very pushy, you want right now what you want, then you lose right now what you don't want to lose. And this structural behavior patterns will bring a lot of misery around us, which is not the job of the man. Man is a very wise, given a very special intellectual capacity and powerful creativity. He is supposed to create an atmosphere of heaven around him. And he can. There is no dearth on this earth. In his kingdom, there is everything available. Seeker shall always seek it, he will get it. There are people who get into the mountains in search of stones, but through their knowledge and experience, they pick up those stones. When they break them, there are beautiful crystals in those stones. And they found the vastness of beauty of the nature. Exactly, there's everything on this earth, provided we are seekers. We are the true Shishya, true Sikhs, who seeks the basic truth of infinity in our finite form. At least you can do one thing as a favor to you: never be ungraceful, ever, in relationship to any woman. Because remember, if you do not respect a symbol, you do not respect the totality. And woman is symbol of regeneration. We call it a symbol of Adi Shakti. It is very difficult for me to talk to you because I understand the deep pain you have suffered in the hand of women. Some say, well, my mom is no good. Some say, my this is not that. I'm not asking you what is what. That is a particular one case. Your girlfriend betrayed you, and you must have betrayed some. There's no big deal. It happens. But as a symbolic, if you start relating to it with respect and grace, you know how much grace will come in your life, you can't even believe it. Doesn't matter. Sometimes you have a partner who is sick, who is very nagging, who is very neurotic, very insecure. That might be test of your own grace. You can't get out of it. But basically, symbolically, as a virtue, you should always try to be neutral and respectful whenever you have to deal with any woman. When a man reaches a perfect structural behavior, that he is graceful to every woman, doesn't matter what are the circumstances, what are the opportunity, that man lives all his life in plenty, bounty and happiness. So I hope if you cannot do lot of about it, little about it, this is the minimum requirement. It is payment of the karma of anyone who is born out of woman, that symbolically he should have a reverence, a respect to every woman on this planet. Now you may not agree with me, and I don't want to make you to agree with me, but I can tell you where it will lead to. If symbolically you will not have a lot of respect in your intellectual thoughts, then you cannot relate to your daughter, your wife, your mother, and your other surrounding lady relatives, and you will end up frustrated. In other words, scientifically speaking, you cannot relate to your own polarity, and thus it will bring you a lot of frustration. I know sometimes even we do not want to hear about it. I agree with you. Sometimes there is a lion, it is hungry, it is going to attack, you don't want to talk about it. But wise men do discuss it, to understand it, to prepare for it, and then face it. Therefore, in your own life, it is your birthright to have happiness, and also it is your birthright to know your unknown and to start on that path. You have to build in you the characteristic to be always graceful, dealing with your own polarity. That is the double UO man. That is what I was talking about. Now let us break this order of pattern and sit down, otherwise as we were sitting in the beginning, that will give us a time to stretch a little bit. Now this is a sound which we are going to practice. It is a very, very ancient, forgotten sound which we all can do, and is a lot of fun in it. But you will mess it many times, doesn't matter, but it's all right. Sound is hum, rum, yum, yum. You can laugh about it, but it's a very powerful sound. When you chant it, you will know what it does to you. Hum, rum, yum, yum. When you chant it, you will know what mostly you will go incorrect on it. All right.
What are those sounds?
Huh?
What are those
Hum, rum, yum, yum. Hum means we, rum means the omnipresent, yum means the god of death. It is another name of Lord Shiva. In Sanskrit, these sounds are known as correlative creative sounds. Well, sounds are sound, why to discuss them, right? All right. First, ladies will chant this sound total, and then men will correlate it. Okay? Sit down nicely as very good yogis. You are quite pretty senior yogis, there's no problem. All yogi has to do is put his spine straight, that's all. That's all. Moment if you can keep your spine straight, you have got what you need. I always say Americans are great yogis because they are very one-pointed. All you have to do is to turn their negativity into the positive nature, and only the danger lies sometimes they reach the stage of insanity and then they come to eat you up. Because you must understand, snake has a capacity, it bites its own protector. But that danger, if you are willing to face, and possibly you should, this is the best possible bunch of people who are really very honest and great seekers. I do not know what the world opinion is, but in 3 years what I have found is it's a very one-pointed nation. You can turn it a little bit from a negative activity to positive. They are so creative. And the main problem where the teachers or the guides mess up is they require constant attention. Job, and sometimes one who takes a vow to do it, cannot do it, gets frustrated in himself, and the whole thing gets messed up. Or things become so large that it is sometimes physically impossible. But that doesn't mean things are not going to be all right. Seekers is a Sikh. And this nation is basically born on those levels of consciousness. They like to seek, and they are not going to rest. Whether they seek it through machines, they create their own God with a machine, doesn't matter, but they're going to do it, I tell you that. Because they're very one-pointed people. They're not lazy. Just give a thought to an American, he'll write a whole book on it. And give a thought to an Indian, he will meditate all his life. I'm telling you. Give a thought to a Middle East man, he will talk about it, but will never act. Give a thought to a Japanese, he will not speak, but he will just produce the product. So don't misunderstand, things are not geography-wise too. Geography has its own effect. Most of people have never traveled around the world, they have not met around the world what people are, they have never studied that whole thing, and that's why the lack of understanding is. But I think environments have got great effect on people, and people affect the environments also very greatly. So however, let us do what we are going to do. Alright. Ladies, you will chant first the first basic sound. Hum, rum, yum, yum. That's all it is, okay? Come on, inhale. Start.
Hum, rum, yum, yum. Hum, rum, yum, yum.
No, the men you have to chant one time, and then the women have to chant it too. Alright, now, again. Inhale, start.
Hum, rum, yum, yum.
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 Inhale, exhale. If you ever done a kissing knowingly and unknowingly, you watch out in this exercise and in this word vibration how your lips act. It's a very powerful situation to study. And I do not know whether you have ever experienced the art of kissing. Art of kissing is a very frustrating, and sometimes it is very delightful, because the lips have the most powerful membrane and nervous system. Next to tongue and to eyes, this is very near to the brain. Therefore, I like to remind you to keep in your subconscious mind the study of this mantra, which has, mantras are built that way, to do certain things into the body and in consciousness. That's what they are meant for. Okay? Ladies, inhale. Start.
Hum, rum, yum, yum.
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 Up.
Hum, rum, yum, yum.
Hum, rum,
Rhythm,
yum,
rhythm.
yum.
Hum, rum, yum, 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 yum.
Hum, rum, yum,
Inhale.
yum.
Exhale. Now you're going to mess it up, because the sensitivity through the lips takes you through exhale. And it's very difficult to keep that rhythm, I know it. We have tried it many times. But I tell you, when you do it for a long time, you start feeling a sensitivity in that area, and something happens to this control system here in the skull. and worthwhile when you have some time off time and you can go out. Then sometimes you get frustrated, run away to the hills. That is the American tantrum, run to the top of the hill or to the ocean. They think there is a peace there. You know what? That's the same habit. Run for your life. Where? World is round. If you run from one point, if you keep on running, you will end up the same point back. But we think perhaps changing of time and place can give us something better to effect. Always remember, there is one thing very beautiful said in the scriptures: change the place and the time to run for seeking the wise man. So that the doubt in life and the frustration which has come in the communion can be wiped out, and oh man, you will not carry the poison in your subconscious mind as a block. That's why people seek the wisdom to experience the knowledge. You should never be shy, never be afraid when you have any area which is creating a block in your consciousness. You should immediately discuss it with any man of wisdom whom you can trust and believe, and you can communicate, so that you may live on this earth as a man of a great clear consciousness. It's very essential. It's the highest reward in a human life if one can enjoy it. It's not a little thing. Remember this thing. It is just known as a definite, infinite source of consultation. We get some time. A question can come: suppose you don't have a man, what you will do? Then find something through which you can relate to the world of infinity, of God consciousness. Even if that is not possible, there is another possibility. Your own consciousness should develop to the power of infinity. All you have to do is just close yourself and the answer right comes. Man has everything in him. You may not believe me, but I can tell you, out of just extreme simplicity, man has everything. Sometimes you might be curious about it. Why men of God are slandered and abused in public, and people misbehave with them and mistreat them? It's just like that. When you light a candle, moth will come to see that they can extinguish it. So it is just a polarity. Where there is a light, there is a shade of polarity. Whenever you are very righteous and doing the right job, you will always end up on a cross or in a gas chamber. It is not something which is unknown on man and his life. But you must have a dignity, and you must have a realization of your potential up to infinity, that what one cannot even imagine to hear and think and see, the other one can show it, prove it, and do it. May the long
Time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light
like me. Sometimes you make it too loose. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. We used to sing it as a prayer, but I don't know why you stretch it like a rubber. We used to talk it to our own consciousness and create it. It's a very peaceful prayer for every human being on this earth. That's why we adapted it. And all over in the United States of America, twice a day, anyone who belongs to a thought to be holy, healthy, happy, he sings this. Is there something more beautiful than this? We all do it. Can you believe it? What we are doing? We will try to know it. Twice a day, for the total humanity, we give them a prayer of the saints. Who we are then? May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. O the formless in every form, O destiny in every dignity, O dignity in every being, O grace of thou grace of infinity, O beauty in every beauty, joy in every joy, bliss in every bliss, creator of all creation and of all consciousness, O supreme consciousness, Lord of lords, the one God of all gods. It was a blissful moment. We in brotherhood could sit, understand, relate, and meditate on thy infinity. Give us joy, happiness, and bliss. Make us one with everyone to find the one within and without, and we may live in love, in peace, in state of consciousness of bliss and joy. Sapna. Thank you very much. It was a pretty happy evening. Hopefully every evening comes to us that way. And we will always enhance our personality to the goal of our own human satisfaction.